Hello everyone. A very warm good evening to one and all who have joined us. So, I welcome you all to this Spacetopia live quiz, mega quiz on the very special occasion which we call the Asteroid Day. Now, of course, there have been several sessions that we have been conducting in the past month so that we are, able to build up the momentum towards the Asteroid Day. And as you know, this particular session is for the seniors, that is for grade 6 to 9. We have also recommended that. So I would just recommend right in the beginning itself that if there are any junior kids who are still trying to join, you may, of course, you are more than welcome to attend the session, but do make sure that your quiz is already done. So you have already enjoyed your Kahoot quiz. So now it's time for the seniors to enjoy their Kahoot quiz. So make sure that you do not join and interrupt their experience, just like they did not with the juniors quiz, because we are having two quizzes back to back. Now, I can already see a few people who are live with us. So thank you so much. Now, before we dive deeper into today's quiz, into today's event, and of course, I'm sure that most of you might be very awaited and very excited for the long awaited poster making competition results. So we'll declare that as well towards the end. Meanwhile, just stay tuned, enjoy our quiz, and then we'll move on to the winners of the competition. Meanwhile, let me just share my screen and show you all something, a few exciting things that are actually happening on the occasion of Asteroid Day, as well as in general, that keeps on going. So first of all, we have our Spacetopia YouTube channel where we have different kind of videos that come up. So make sure you subscribe to our channel for all the latest, updates on astronomy, space science, and all the exciting activities that we keep doing here and there. Followed by that, what's even more exciting is our podcast channel, that is the Stories of the Universe by Spacetopia, which again, many of you might not be aware, but this is our channel where we put up videos on various different kind of famous personalities, different kind of missions, different kind of things related to astronomy and space science in a very fun and exciting manner. So while you are traveling in a car, you are traveling by bus, you are, let's say, just passing your time here, running here and there, you can just plug in your earphones and just keep listening to these videos, although you can keep watching also because these are audio visuals. But if not possible for you to watch, you can even spend your time listening to these. You will get to learn a lot in a very fun and exciting manner about various different exciting things that have happened in this particular domain. So, and we are constantly making new videos, new kind of podcasts on different aspects of astronomy and space science. So you'll get to learn a lot and you will be able to actually boast of your knowledge in your friend circle and in your school as well. So do make sure you check out our Stories of the Universe by Spacetopia. And the links to these are already there in the YouTube and the Spacetopia descriptions. You can check that out. And there are links to certain very important things, very exciting things that we'll share in the live chat itself. So you'll find in the pinned message of the live chat very shortly the links to one of the latest events that have come up, that is the Asteroid Day workshops. So in contrast to these live sessions on Zoom or like on YouTube and Spacetopia, we do conduct direct Zoom based sessions where we directly interact with students like you all. We perform activities, we perform fun Kahoot quiz, and we get to learn about certain things in astronomy and space science in a very fun and exciting manner. So those are what we call as workshops. So right now, on the occasion of the International Asteroid Day, we have Asteroid Day workshops that have come up on Spacetopia. So the link to these you will find in the pinned message on the live chat itself. That will be available very shortly. So I would just request Kavit sir, who is managing the backend once again with us, he will just quickly send that message as part of your live chat. You will find it in the pinned message of the live chat. Here you can visit this website. You can know more about the different kind of workshops that we are going to conduct. Here you actually receive a physical kit. So when you are signing up, you can click on the register button and you need to actually provide your address and everything. And we actually ship you a kit which contains that activity materials. And then we schedule a session. After you receive the kit, we schedule the session. So today onwards itself, we are starting to schedule the sessions. Very shortly in the next couple of weeks, we'll be scheduling the session. Some of you who have already received the kits, just wait for a couple of days. We'll notify you shortly via email that when your session is scheduled and which are the links you need to join for the session. So we'll have a lot of fun in those workshops as well. So do make sure you check out these Asteroid Day workshops, which are being conducted right now using the link that has been sent in the live chat itself. And since it's Asteroid Day, why not talk about an international citizen science campaign that is focused solely on hunting asteroids? Did you know that you could actually participate in a program where you can work with real data and make real discoveries and make a real impact in the domain of astronomy? So here we actually, collaborate with NASA, and we provide you real astronomical data from real telescope, that is the Pan-STARRS telescope located in Hawaii, and you get to analyze that data. We train you that how to analyze the data, how to use the software which is used to analyze the data, and then produce your result. And based on the result, you can actually make a discovery. And if your discovery comes out to be a genuine one, which has happened in many cases, they've got over 100 plus discoveries, over 120 probably as of now in the last few years in ISC. So over there, you will actually get a chance to name that asteroid. So your name, along with the name that you give to the asteroid, will be edged permanently in NASA's website, and you will actually become officially an asteroid discoverer. So it's a great chance from a young age to actually participate in a program which is recognized globally. You get certificate, you get medals and all that thing. And of course, you get rewards from our side as well, from Spacetopia. And of course, you get an exposure to a worldwide program where you actually get a chance to do something very exciting and innovative, which probably most of your friends and peers are not doing. So you will have a chance to actually enhance your profile as well as you grow up and pursue your career in the higher ages. So make sure you check out our ISC page and register for it, because ISC campaigns do happen almost every month. So even the next campaign is coming up very soon in the next few days. So it's going to start very soon. We are going to start with the sessions from 3rd or 4th of July itself. And every month we are having that campaign. So do make sure that you check out and register for the ISC campaign. So links for all these are present in the description of YouTube and Spacetopia, and also in the pinned message in the live chat. So do make sure you check that out. So with that aside, let's focus on the event of the day, and that is celebration of Asteroid Day. Now, we had, of course, conducted a dedicated citizen science masterclass program just a few days ago with our space expert, Dr. Mila ma'am, where she guided you all to learn about a very nice and famous citizen science platform that is called Zooniverse, where you actually learned about asteroids, how to hunt asteroids and all that thing. But of course, let's just have a quick recap since it's Asteroid Day. So let's have a recap that why is Asteroid Day celebrated, what it is, what is so exciting about Asteroid Day, and what is so special about Asteroid Day. So as you all might know that today is 30th of June, and today is the day when we celebrate the Asteroid Day. But why? Well, the Asteroid Day is actually celebrated on the anniversary of a Tunguska impact that had happened over 120 years ago. That means an asteroid had actually fell upon a small town called Tunguska over Siberia, that is the northern part of Russia. And there it had made a huge impact. So it is not an anniversary of a very happy event, of course, but it's an anniversary of an event that is scientifically and astronomically very important. It made us realize the importance of asteroid, the importance of tracking asteroids, and the importance of actually studying that and developing technologies that can help us track and monitor asteroids all around our Earth. And that is when in 2016, United Nations declared a resolution that Asteroid Day would be celebrated every year on June 30th to raise awareness about asteroids and their potential for actually creating a threat on humanity. Now, what exactly are asteroids? Well, we had covered that up earlier also. So let's just have a quick recap. These are small, rocky, and metallic objects, not more than 1,000 kilometers in size. They are too small to be called planets, and that is why often called as minor planets or planetoids. And that's where a name called Minor Planet Center, in short called as MPC, comes in. People who have already participated in our ISC program earlier, or if you are planning to participate in the ISC, you will actually be be familiar with the word MPC, that is Minor Planet Catalog. Okay, so it actually basically stands for a catalog of all the different asteroids which are present in our solar system. So that word will actually become very handy, and now you are aware of that. So you have a slight edge if you're participating in ISC. And the word asteroid has been taken from the word aster, which means starlight, because earlier when people were observing it, it was appearing like a star, so named it after a star. Now, this person is the one who discovered the first asteroid in 1801. That means over 200 years ago. He actually discovered an object between Mars and Jupiter. And after some observation, he could conclude that it is actually appearing like a very tiny grain. So he named it after the Roman and Sicilian goddess of grain named Ceres. So his name is Giuseppe Piazzi, who was the discoverer of the first asteroid, and he named it Ceres. But he didn't know that he had actually discovered the largest asteroid which is present in our solar system, and we'll quickly look at that. Before that, let's just quickly have a look at what are the different types of asteroids. So based on the location, these asteroids are actually classified into three categories. First is the main belt asteroid, the ones which are present exactly between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, that is in the asteroid belt. Then we have the Trojan asteroids, which are the ones which share their orbits with a planet or moon without colliding with them. For example, in this animation, you can see these green dots actually representing all those asteroids which are, sharing their orbits with orbit of Jupiter, but they do not collide with Jupiter. Same goes for Uranus, same goes for Neptune, same goes for Mars also. It also has a few Trojan asteroids which share their orbits with its orbit. And then you have the near-Earth objects, that is NEO asteroids, which are the ones which are very close to our Earth's orbit. This is the category which we are the most concerned with. For example, Amors, Athens, Apollo, such kind of names have been given to many of the near-Earth objects. Okay, so these green ones, which you can see in the animation on my screen right now, represent all those objects which are the NEOs. And you can see they are such huge in number. So that is why it becomes even more important that we keep a track and we keep monitoring these asteroids so that we can minimize the threat which these asteroids can pose to our existence. This is an edge-on view, that means a side view of the near-Earth asteroids, and you can see they're quite high in number. And that is where the importance of asteroid actually comes in. Now, how big is an asteroid? How big are these asteroids? In the beginning, I told you that these are not more than 1,000 kilometers in size. In fact, if you compare it to our Earth and Moon, then you can see that our Earth and Moon are much larger when compared to even the largest asteroid, which is Ceres, just about 950 kilometers. So that means even the largest asteroid is not even 1,000 kilometers. And in the scale of the solar system, it is pretty small. So why do you think even though it is so small, they pose such a big impact? And that is because of their speed and the velocity. They're moving at very high speeds around our Earth and the solar system. And that is why even if they're just a few kilometers wide, they can create huge amount of impact on the Earth's surface. For example, you all must be aware of the dinosaur extinction that took place about 60 to 70 million years ago, where there was not a very big asteroid, a very small sized asteroid, but it hit the Earth's surface and millions of species were wiped out in the next few years. So that is why it is very important that we take into consideration the importance of asteroids. But you might have heard about another term called as meteorites. So what exactly are those? Well, when the asteroids actually start coming down upon Earth, their names actually keep changing. So meteorites are basically chunks of asteroids that make it through the atmosphere to the ground. Okay, and these act like a small time capsules, and they help us learn more about how the solar system was formed, how the planets were formed, how the stars were formed. It basically acts as a small time capsule. So these are what we call as meteorites. So meteorites are not some other rocks. These are those same asteroids. They were termed asteroids when they were in space. Once they come down on the Earth, they are termed as meteorites. And while they are traveling through the atmosphere, they are actually termed as meteoroids. Okay, and when there are, of course, hundreds of such kind of meteors, rocks that come down, they're called as a meteor shower. Okay, so there are different terms for the same kind of object depending upon the situation and circumstance in which that object is actually traveling. Okay, now considering these asteroids, considering their size, considering their danger as well, the main question is, are we really safe? Well, if you look at the current asteroid count in our solar system, it's over 1.5 million. That means over 15 lakh asteroids that are present in the solar system currently. Over 200 impact craters have been created by these asteroids on our Earth itself. And do let me know in the chat if you're aware how many of them are in our country, that is in India. We do have a few impact craters in our country as well, which has been created by asteroid attacks. And last but not the least, hundreds of near-Earth asteroids fly past our Earth every year. So if that is the situation, how often do we actually get hit by asteroids? Well, if you look, then every day we get about 100 tons of asteroids which are entering the Earth's atmosphere. But what is even more interesting is that every year about 2 asteroids the size of a car actually come into the hit upon the Earth's surface. Every 10 years, you have an asteroid the size of a house. Every 50 years, a Chelyabinsk level asteroid, that means a medium-sized asteroid. Again, this is also another event similar to Tunguska, but not as devastating as a Tunguska. This had happened in 2013, the Chelyabinsk event, again in northern part of Russia. And every 500 years, you have a Tunguska city killer level asteroid, which can literally wipe out an entire city. So considering these threats, what is our choice? Can we actually protect ourselves from these asteroids? Well, our best chance of avoiding an impact is actually having an advance notice of a threat. And that is why we are spending billions and billions of dollars on technologies. And we are trying to create awareness programs such as the ISC and all these kind of programs through which we are actually able to monitor and track these asteroids so that we already know that if there's an asteroid that is coming up. Because if we know if an asteroid is hitting us or not, we can actually plan for some kind of mission. For example, this was one of the landmark missions in the history of asteroid study, which is called as the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, in short called as the DART mission. So there is a small, asteroid called Didymos, and around that Didymos, there's an even smaller asteroid called Dimorphos, which actually revolves around that. Okay, so even within asteroids, there are systems of asteroids where you have a smaller asteroid acting as a satellite around the larger asteroid. So this combination of Dimorphos and Didymos was actually chosen to demonstrate this DART mission, wherein we literally sent a spacecraft and hit this Dimorphos rock, as you can see. Our spacecraft is literally going, and eventually it hits this rock, and the power with which it hits the rock actually changes or deflects its path. And that is how we eventually demonstrated that if required, we can literally hit an asteroid and we can change its path and we can save ourselves from any kind of impact from that asteroid. So this is one of the missions that has been very successful. And of course, again, just like that, several other missions have also been conducted by NASA and other space agencies. So we do have technologies to actually deal with asteroids, but what is more important is that we actually keep a track of the asteroids. If we do not know if whether an asteroid is coming or not, we'll never be able to use those technologies. So that is really important that we actually keep ourselves aware of that. Okay, because if you look at the near Earth asteroids, they're huge in numbers, they are moving around our Earth, and that is why it is very important that we keep a track of that. And talking about keeping a track of asteroids, make sure that you check out our Asteroid Day workshops and the ISC programs, which are curated especially for kids of 6th grade and above, because that is the eligibility criteria. Of course, for Asteroid Day workshops, we have dedicated workshops for junior kids as well. That means from grades 2 to 5. So make sure you check out through the links that have already been shared in the pinned message in the live chat. So now that we have taken a small recap about, asteroids, about Asteroid Day and all that stuff, let's dive deeper into the quiz itself. So let me just stop sharing my screen and generate the link for the quiz first so that I can share that. So just like every time, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share the link to the quiz. So we'll share the link to the quiz in the live chat. So you can join through the link as well. But at the same time, I will also show you the QR code to join the quiz. So as always, the rules remain same. You actually need 2 devices or 2 tabs on the same device to join the quiz. On one tab or on one device, you will be able to see the questions and the options on my screen. And on the other device, you will actually be able to see the options. That means the colored options that you can actually select and you can actually answer. Okay. Oh, before we dive deeper into the quiz, let me just quickly show you the instructions as always. So let me just share my screen. Just give me a second. So yeah. Here you go. So let me just share my screen over here. So today's session, which we call as Quiz It Up, is actually on celebration of the Asteroid Day. That is, again, the mega quiz celebration of Asteroid Day, grades 6th onwards. That means grade 6 to 9, of course. Okay. So do make sure, again, kids, if there is anyone who is from the lower grades, please make sure that you do not participate in the quiz so that the competition remains fair and square. Now, as always, in Quiz It Up, we often suggest you to use the same name which you have on your Spacetopia profile. So when you click on the profile section on your Spacetopia account, you have your username. You can use the same name when you are joining the Kahoot quiz. Once you have joined, once you have clicked on the link or scan the QR code, this is the page which will come in on your device. And what you need to do is that you need to enter your name. Now, although it says that do not use your real name, please use your real name so that, you can actually, we can recognize you. Okay, so please do use your real name. You can use your first name also. And once you enter your name and click on OK Go, it will show you are in. So when you are in, you should not click on anything else. Do not click on achievements or anything. The quiz will automatically start once I click the start button from my end. On my screen, you will be able to see all these questions and the options just like this. But on your screen, this is how the options will come up. You'll only be able to see the colors of the options. So you need to carefully observe these options and you need to choose the right color and you need to click that color on your device, whether it's a smartphone or a laptop. So that's how we will be conducting the quiz. As always, people who have already joined, you know the drill. People who are joining for the first time, this is how we conduct. And that is why I'm repeating once again, you need two devices or two tabs on the same device to actually properly attend this quiz. And once we are done with the quiz, of course, then we'll eventually go for declaring the winners of the poster making competition. So now that we are clear with the instructions, let me just share my screen with the quiz QR code so that you all are able to scan the QR code as well for joining. So let me just share my screen. Here you go. So I can already see few people have joined using the link. So here you have the QR code. You can use this QR code to scan and join. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes while you all are joining. Meanwhile, let me just turn up the volume so that you have a nice quiz vibe. So I can see most of you have already joined. We have over 70 people. I will just wait for a minute more while more people are joining. And as I had already given you the instruction earlier, the junior kids are requested not to join so that, you know, the competition remains fair and square. Because it is possible sometimes the junior kids also do know a bit more than the senior kids. So do make sure that only the people of grade 6 to 9 are joining this particular quiz. Of course, you can remain online if you're part of the poster making competition. Uh, for the astro painting, we have already declared the winners. So do make sure you check out our earlier live that we had conducted just an hour ago for the winners of the astro painting. For the poster making competition, we'll be announcing the winners shortly once we are done with the quiz. So I can already see about 80 people have joined, you know. So let's begin with the quiz. If by chance you are left out, you can, of course, click on the link in the chat to again join in the middle, or you can keep answering to us in the live chat itself. So we have about 80 people. So let's start with today's quiz that is on the occasion of Asteroid Day. Give me a second. So let's start with today's quiz. So it is Quiz It Up celebrating Asteroid Day for grade 6 to 9. And here's your first question, kids. What are most asteroids made up of? And the correct answer is, of course, rock and metal, which we had also covered up during the recap itself. Again, many of you have answered correctly, so good to see that. So after the first question, as I can see that, okay, so Vedic, I believe, has actually joined with different kind of accounts. So Vedic, do make sure that you are not joining through duplicate accounts. Otherwise, you will be banned permanently from the Kahoot quiz. Okay, so I can see that he has actually answered and his name is coming up on the leaderboard. Let's move to the next question. Where is the main asteroid belt located? The correct answer is between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, where the main asteroid belt is actually located. Majority of the asteroids are located over there itself. Let's move to the next one. It's a typing answer. What is the largest known asteroid? And the correct answer is Ceres itself. Okay, so if you have just made a mistake in the spellings also, it's completely fine because other answers are also accepted. Okay, but Ceres is the correct answer. It is the largest asteroid. Okay, so as I can see that there is a bit of confusion, so I can see where the who has joined with multiple accounts. So probably it might be a bug from Kahoot's side as well. That is also a possibility, but usually that does not happen. So, what we'll do is that we'll just take into consideration as of now. And at the end, if there is any discrepancy in the score, what we'll do is that we'll just, filter out later on. What we can do is that from the back end of Kahoot, we can generate the result card and we'll filter out those names which are duplicate and publish the, proper result card in Kahoot's in the description itself. So do not worry about that if there is any kind of spam that is going on. Okay. So let's move to the next one. This is for double points, kids. So do try to answer it correctly. Who discovered the first asteroid? So it's Giuseppe Piazzi, which we had also covered up during the recap itself. He was the one who discovered the first asteroid. Let's move to the next one now. So this is a multi-select. That means more than one options may be correct. What is or are other names for an asteroid? Correct answers are planetoids and minor planets, because I told you that minor planet catalog is something that also comes in handy when you are, performing citizen science projects such as ISC and stuff. So planetoids and minor planets are actually other names for an asteroid. So again, good to see many of you have answered that correctly. Let's move to the next one now. What do you call an asteroid piece that lands on the Earth? Is meteorite, which we are also discussing during the recap itself, that when an asteroid piece falls on the Earth, it is actually called as a meteorite. Serves as a very nice small time capsule for actually letting us know about the history of our Earth and our solar system, stars, and so on. Let's move to the next one now. What are the different types of asteroids? The correct answer, of course, is all of the above. Main belt asteroids, Trojan asteroids, near Earth objects, all these are three different types of asteroids based on their location. Okay, let's move to the next one. Which type of asteroids are being detected by the green dots in the picture below? Well, the correct answer is actually Trojan asteroids. If you remember just now, even in the recap, I was showing you this animation where the green dots are basically representing the Trojan asteroids of Jupiter. So they are called as Jupiter Trojans because they are sharing their orbit with the orbit of Jupiter. So again, good to see some of you have answered it correctly. Let's move to the next one now. Now, this is for double points, kids. Which of the following NASA's missions involved two asteroids, Dimorphos and Didymos? So well, eventually the answer was actually displayed in this picture itself, right? That small dart over here. So it is the DART mission in which we had actually sent the spacecraft, which we are covering up also during the recap, that it hit that smaller one, that is the Dimorphos, and it literally deflected its path. As you can see, this was the original orbit, the white one, and the blue one was the new orbit, due to that DART mission. Let's move to the next question, which is the 10th one. Why is Asteroid Day observed on June 30th? So as we had discussed right at the beginning, that Asteroid Day is actually celebrated to honor the Tunguska impact and raise awareness about the asteroid threat. So it's more about honoring than celebrating, that we are honoring that impact, and we are actually using that impact as a reminder that asteroids do have a very important role when it comes to our, safety on a scale of solar system. So we are 10 questions down the line, and this is how the scoreboard is looking like. So we have Shritan at the top, followed by Rudraksh, Dev, Sankajit, and Drishti. And Fatima is the highest climber till now. So we have 5 more questions to go. Let's see if you all can actually change your positions. Let's move to the 11th one. What is the name of the NASA mission that landed on an asteroid and brought back samples to Earth? People who might have attended the citizen science masterclass that we had a few days ago might have got an edge in this particular question, because that's where we had discussed about the Osiris-Rex mission, in which NASA had actually sent a spacecraft to land on an asteroid and then bring back samples to Earth. Do let me know in the chat if you're aware what is the name of that asteroid on which this particular mission actually landed. So good to see again. Let's move to the next one. This is for a multi-select one. That means more than one options are correct. Based on composition, asteroids are classified into So, well, this was also something that we had actually discussed, during the citizen science masterclass, where we had learned that asteroids are also classified based on their composition into three types as C type, M type, and S type. Okay, so there is no Z type, asteroid as such. So that is why people who had attended that might have got an edge in this particular question. Let's move to the next one. Which of these is not a near-Earth object? So, well, here the correct answer actually is Ceres, because even during the recap, I had shown you that the near-Earth asteroids have actually been given different names as well. For example, Apollo, Amors, Atens, and so on. And these three were the names which I had shown you. Ceres is, of course, not a near-Earth object. It is the largest asteroid, but not a near-Earth object. So let's move to the 14th question. Why do scientists study asteroids? So the correct answer is actually all of the above. We try to study asteroids for mining, for finding organic materials, for learning about our early solar system. For all these purposes, asteroids play a very important role. And mining is something that is actually coming up. Of late, it has gained very high attention, because scientists and even private entities are trying to plan for missions and produce technologies through which we can actually mine asteroids for various kind of precious metals like iron, like platinum, gold, and so on. So after 14 questions, this is how the scoreboard looks like. So here we have Rudraksh for leading, followed by Dev, Shrikhan, Molshri, and Vaidik. And here Arna is making a comeback again with 3 in a row. So let's see, but the difference in points, as you can see, is not that high. So can the final questions change these positions? Let's look at the final one. This is for double points. The picture below shows one of the most common methods of asteroid detection. What is it called? And the correct answer, kids, especially those who might have attended our earlier ISC sessions, do know that this is actually called as the blinking method. And we had also discussed about this in brief during our citizen science masterclass, which we did have a few days ago. So this method is actually one of the most common methods where we actually blink several images and we try to determine if there is an object which is moving in against the background. All the other black dots that you can see are planets, stars, or other objects that are very far away. But the one which has been labeled as BJ19377, whatever it is, that is actually the asteroid, which appears to move when you blink multiple images. This is how it looks like. So this is also one of the pictures which you get when you actually do the ISC campaign, where this is the kind of images. These are real images which we get from real telescopes, and we actually put up these images in softwares and analyze these. So do make sure you check out our ISC page so that you are able to participate in the next campaign, which is coming up very soon. So with this, we conclude the Kahoot quiz on the occasion of Asteroid Day. Again, it was a fun quiz. So do not get discouraged if the points are slightly less. It depends upon internet connection and all other factors. But still, let's look at the podium. So in third position, we got Shrikant. In second position, we have got Dave. Small difference in points. And with over 15,000 points, we have Rutras in the first position. And we got Moshri and Vedic as runners up as well in fourth and fifth positions. And of course, all others who had participated are also there along with us around the podium. So once again, thank you so much for joining in our Kahoot quiz, the mega quiz on Asteroid Day. And again, congratulations to the winners. Let me just turn down the volume over here. And so let me just stop sharing. So as you all saw that there are a lot of things which are related to, asteroid hunting, which are related to various missions and all this. So to know more about it, to learn more about it in a very fun, exciting manner, and to perform activities as well, not only just attending session, but performing hands-on activities, do make sure you check out our Asteroid Day workshops, which are already live and which are going to be conducted very soon. You can check out the links which are shared in the message in the pinned, in the pinned message in the live chat. And you can check out the descriptions of YouTube and Spacetopia as well, where we have provided you the links to the Asteroid Day workshops and our upcoming ISC campaign as well. Do make sure you check those out and subscribe to our YouTube channels as well. And before we conclude today's session, just like we had promised earlier, let's finally conclude the poster making competition and let's look at who are the winners in the long-awaited poster making competition. So let me just share back my screen once again. Just give me a second. So for poster making competition, again, we had got several different, inputs. We had got a lot of, courageous and enthusiastic participation in the competition. So let me just share my screen. Just give me a second. Because before we show you the winners, let me just quickly show you all the entries that we have actually got. And most of the entries were actually really, really good. So this is the Padlet page where we had actually taken the entries for the poster making competition, which was meant for grades 6 to 9. So here you can see a lot of the artwork that you all have done actually shows the hard work and the dedication that you all have put. Again, we have, of course, taken into consideration the things if they have been created with AI, if you have copied an existing design and all that stuff. And taking into consideration the evaluation criteria, which we had also provided to you. So we had provided an evaluation criteria as well. And sticking to the evaluation criteria itself, our team has actually spent a lot of time to determine the winners. It was quite a tough time to determine the top 5 winners. So considering these, evaluation criteria points itself, we have actually shortlisted the 5 winners. And I would like to inform you that there is no first, second, or third like that. The top 5 winners are just top 5 winners. The sequence in which I will be showing the winners is not based on rank. Instead, it's based on the grade itself. Okay, so I'm showing the junior grade first, and then eventually I'm moving up to the senior grades. So for poster making competition, the first winner is Hiya Pavish, who is from grade 6 Cyborg School UAE. Okay, so this is the artwork that she has made. As per the guidelines of the poster making competition, we had also asked you to, do some research, do some findings and all that. And the creativity and innovation that she has showed has actually made her one of the winners. Okay, so just give me a second. Yeah, let me just go back. Hold on. I just skipped over many of you, I believe. So let me just go back once again. Yeah. So first we have here Pavish. Then secondly, we have got Arnav Sandeep Yamgekar, who is from grade 8, New Horizons Scholar School, Mumbai. So the artwork that he had done was actually posted in the astro painting competition. So Arnav, we had informed you also. So you should have put it up in the correct Padlet. But still, we did take into consideration a few of the submissions which were by mistakenly made into other links. So we have taken that into consideration. But the artwork that he has done was really commendable. And that is why he is again one of the winners. Then we have Swansea Nilesh Nikam, who is also one of the winners from grade 8 New Horizons Scholars School, Mumbai, once again, the same school. So good work. And again, she has also, given a lot of information actually in her posters. So it is very close, one of the closest things to an actual poster, which contains a lot of information, which contains a lot of data about the kind of technologies and science that goes into, creation of such kind of space habitats. So good to see that, Swansky, that you have done some research and included a lot of information about the technologies that are required in a space habitation. Then we have Alankrita Dhawan, who is from grade 6, Podar International School, Mumbai, who is also one of the winners. And she says, Earth is our home, Mars is the next door, the perfect home, of course. So Mars is the next door. That's what we, all the space agencies and all are actually working upon. And that's why she's also one of the winners. And last but not the least, Anya Chopra from grade 9, Navrachna International School, Vadodara. She is also one of the winners. The artwork that she has done also contains a lot of information, a lot of data, and a lot of science that has actually been developing in this technology where we are trying to develop space habitation, habitation on Moon, habitation on Mars, and so on. So here are the winners of the poster making competition. Of course, the certificate of merit for all the winners have already been sent. The certificate of participation for all the other participants will be sent by email very shortly. Okay, so very shortly, the certificate of participation will also reach all the participants of poster making competition. So, and the rewards for the winners will be dispatched very soon. So we'll shortly be taking your addresses and the winners will receive their rewards very soon. We will follow up about that through email IDs itself. So thank you all so much for participating in the poster making competition. Congratulations to the winners of the quiz as well as for the competitions. And thank you all for participating in this mega quiz on the event of Asteroid Day. So do make sure you check out our Asteroid Day workshops or IC programs, our YouTube channels, and also you can scan this QR code for following us on Instagram and joining our WhatsApp community, where we actually provide you the latest updates on all the different kind of events, competitions, activities, and everything that happens in the first go itself. So the first information goes out in the WhatsApp community. So make sure you join that WhatsApp community by scanning this QR code. You will get the link. And if you have any questions, any doubts at any point of time, you can contact us at hello@stemandspace.com. So thank you all so much for joining. We hope to see you again in the next session very soon. Till then, goodbye. And